Going back to Sherbet, you know, it was a great band. It sounded great, great songs, you know, of the genre. What are your recollections of playing with each of the band members, including a great singer like Darryl?
Oh, it was always great playing with Darryl's such a hell of a singer. I reckon he just gets better and better all the time, you know. And they were good players. They were really good players. The guitar, Clive was great. He was very blues influenced. You can hear that in his playing and songs that he wrote. And he wrote some fantastic songs. And he had a great vision for the band. He always wanted it to be this way. And I used to follow him, hang off his shirt tails, I was learning. He taught me a lot, and a lot about songwriting and just music in general. He was really great. And then when we got Harvey, Harvey was just so different. I've never heard anyone ever play like that guy. He's so unique. No, not anywhere in the world. He used to use a 10-cent piece for a pick.
Oh.
That was his pick. That's why he used to break a lot of strings.
No.
And he was a sort of a finger picker plucker. It was a really unusual style. And he was just one mother of a guitar player. So when we lost the boys, we lost Harvey first. It was really sad.
Yeah.
But when we did the benefit for Harvey, there was 2,000 people in the room, another 2,000 wanting to get in. We could have done it 3 times, really. He was very popular. And when you see him playing with Mike Rudd in Ariel and stuff, he was just really young. It's like rock and roll scars. You had to listen to the solo and that, it's gobsmacking. And it goes for a long time, So, and that, Mike Rudd and that Melbourne scene, they really had their own sound, The bands in those days, there was that big fight between the cities. Sydney's better than Melbourne, Melbourne's better than
Sydney. But you're
Sydney.
definitely a Sydney fellow.
Yeah, but we spent most of our time in Melbourne.
All right.
And even today there's much more going on. Musically, I think, there's more going on in Melbourne than there is in Sydney, which is a shame. I'd like to see some of these gigs come back here. But things are different now, and Alan's always been a great drummer. He's really solid. I think he was influenced a lot by Simon Kirk from Free, who I love. Yeah, he loved it. We're all Free freaks. And Garth, he's a great player and one hell of a songwriter, as you can see. He put country on the map in Australia. That was him doing that, He put Tamworth on the map, basically, I reckon. And he made it into a sellable item for city people, Most city people didn't buy country stuff, and Garth comes along and does his thing, and he's been doing it ever since. But he was a great writer and he's a great Hammond player. He's a very good piano player, but he's one hell of a Hammond player.
Is he a trained musician? Or sort of just...
No, I don't think any of us are. You just pick it up and you start listening to the records and start trying to copy people. That's how you learn. And I think every musician, some bands these days, especially kids bands, young bands, they will only do originals, And I'm thinking, well, you've learnt how to play from other people. Why don't you throw in a couple of covers? You might get a bigger audience or something. It's very hard to get gigs these days. But we have no aversion to playing other people's songs. I spend my life doing it. I just play what I like. Someone says you want to do this tour or play this music, I'll go, yeah, I'll have a crack at that. I've even tried other stuff like Jacques Brel and European stuff, piano accordions. You get into it, and it's like once you get your head into it, it's like that's another whole world of music, tango and all that sort of stuff, and with my friend Stuart Darrietta, who wrote, him and John Waters wrote the Glass Onion show.
Are you in that? Do you play in that?
Yeah, I played in that for about 13 years.
Right.
Out on the road, It's a great show. They're actually in New York at this very time doing it as a 2-man show.
Right.
Hopefully making lots of money,
How many of these shows have you done?
Oh, these
Beatles ones, yes.
Oh, I've done 3 runs of the White Album. That's always very popular. And I've done 2 runs of Beatles back to back, which is first set is Sgt. Pepper's, and the second set's Abbey Road. And I've done the Dire Straits show where we played with Chris Whitten, the drummer from Dire Straits.
Right.
He lives out here now.
Right.
And that was an experience because we had Rex Go and we had Phil Emmanuel, Stewie French, just these great people on stage doing, and the same production company that does this show, they did the Dire Straits one as well. And now this is the new one with the full orchestra, All You Need Is Love, which is a kind of collection of all the Beatles songs from about pretty much from Rubber Soul onwards. There's a bit of every album in this show with a 40-piece orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing playing with. I've never played with a full orchestra before, and it really is something.
Mm-hmm.
Take your phones off, you hear that sound. They're great players, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a wonderful conductor, and Nick Buck. He does an overture of all the Beatles stuff at the start. It's just great to do. So I've done. This is the first time I've done this one, and you know, it's a fine band. Our musical director's Paul Gray from YYN. Remember YYN?
Yes, I do indeed.
And he's doing the musical direction for this one. We've got Rex Go in there and Paul Burton and Hamish on drums. It's pretty great to play with these guys. I've been playing on and off with them for years now, so I feel very at home, you know, with the guys. We all know each other really well. And the production company, they've been doing these shows for some time now, so people come to they either go to the State or come to the Opera House.
Thank you very much. Hey, yo!